On behalf of Home Basics Real Estate, I want to thank you for choosing to rent one of our rental units. The purpose of this video is to help you understand the lease agreement better. I'm not going to cover it word for word, but there are some things that we want to highlight that are very important for you to understand. We do encourage you to read the document in its entirety before signing. All occupants over the age of 18 need to be listed on the lease agreement and sign the lease agreement. The next line of the lease agreement includes a space to put the minors who will be living in the rental home. They are obviously not responsible for the lease agreement, but it's important for us to note who is authorized to live in the home. Rent is due on the 1st at 5 p.m. every month. We do allow for a grace period. Late fees will actually be charged to your account on the 5th at 5 p.m. Whether you pay the late fees or not, they are being charged to your account, so please be aware of that. The amount of the late fee is clearly stated on the front page of the lease. If you are moving in during the month, we will prorate the rent from the day that you move in until the end of that month. That amount is stated clearly on the first page of the lease. There is a lease initiation fee on the front page of the lease. That is a non-refundable portion of your security deposit. You will see listed the security deposit amount that we collect when you sign the lease. If you read the security deposit section in the lease agreement, there are several things that you need to do as you are terminating your lease in order to get the security deposit back. We hope to refund your entire security deposit, and we will if you will comply with the lease agreement. It's also important to note that the security deposit is not to be used for the last month's rent. The lease agreement also states a service of notice fee. If somebody doesn't pay their rent or are otherwise not in compliance with the lease, we serve a legal notice. And every time we need to do that, we do charge a service of notice fee. The eviction turnover fee is charged to compensate us for the time and effort to prepare the materials needed for the eviction process. Stated clearly on the front page of the lease is the date of the commencement of the lease. You cannot move in or otherwise take possession of the rental unit prior to the lease commencement date. The lease end date is also stated clearly on the front page of the lease agreement. It is important for you to understand that you are responsible for this lease until that date. After the initial term of the lease agreement, you may have an option to stay in the rental unit on a month-to-month basis. There is a fee charged called a month-to-month fee for that opportunity. Under a month-to-month tenancy, you could give us a 30-day notice to end your lease with us. We also can give you a notice at any time to terminate the lease. As your lease comes due, it is very important to note that you need to give us a 30-day written notice. That notice needs to be given to us on the 1st of the month. The lease agreement must expire on the last day of the month. So let's say it's the 10th of the month and you give us a 30-day notice. You would actually be held responsible for that lease until the last day of the following month. This agreement is a contract. We want to stress to you how important this rental contract is. There may be things in your life that come up while you're staying in our rental unit, like marriage, divorce, job loss, or health problems. These are not reasons to get out of a lease. If you find yourself in extenuating circumstances, please contact one of our property managers immediately and let's talk through what your options may be. Repairs need to be requested in writing. We want you to log on to your tenant portal, which we will help you activate, and report to us any items that need to be repaired. We will then create a work order and send it to one of our qualified contractors. They will contact you and schedule a time to come out and fix the issue. We do not want you to make any repairs by yourself. There may be some items that you bring to our attention that we decide not to fix at this time, and we reserve the right to do so. Please be aware that if you or any occupant living in the home or anyone visiting the home that you invite on the premises damage the property or the repair that you request is a result of any kind of negligence, whether intentional or not, the cost of the repair will be billed to your tenant ledger. We would expect that bill to be paid immediately. If not, we can take those funds from your security deposit to pay that bill. We do have the right to enter into your rental unit. Our policy is to give advanced notice. Reasons why we may enter your rental unit include performing routine maintenance, or responding to maintenance requests from you. Also, to verify the security of the property. We require each of our tenants to carry their own policy of renter's insurance. The owner of the property you live in carries insurance, but their insurance policy does not cover your personal belongings. Prior to moving in, please reach out to your insurance agent. To set up a policy of renter's insurance only takes about 10 to 15 minutes and costs between $10 and $12 a month. This is a very smart thing to do on your part. Please have your insurance agent send us over evidence of insurance. If you do not obtain your own policy of renter's insurance, we can provide a tenant liability insurance policy. It does not offer the same coverage as a renter's insurance policy. Your tenant ledger will be charged $9.99 a month for this service. It is very important to communicate with us in writing, and that's the purpose of the lease agreement today, as well as things like the 30-day written notice or our requirement to request maintenance repairs in writing. No one can just move into our rental properties without our prior written consent. In certain circumstances, we may allow someone else to move in, but not without us first having them fill out an application and giving us an opportunity to run a background check and pull their credit and check their references. Allowing unauthorized people to live in your rental home is a clear and serious violation of the lease agreement. Any illegal activity occurring on the property is grounds for immediate and swift eviction. No pets or animals are allowed on the property unless previously authorized by us. Violations of this lease term will incur a $50 per day per violation fee to the tenant. This is a serious matter, so please do not get any animals or pets. If somebody asks you even to watch their pet temporarily, please tell them that that is not allowed under your lease agreement. You must establish utility accounts in your name prior to moving in. A failure to do so will incur a $50 per utility per month charge. Before moving your furniture and clothing and any food items into your rental unit, please check for any infestations. This may include bed bugs, cockroaches, lice, or mice. You will be held responsible for any infestation resulting from you bringing these types of pests onto the property. Further, it is your responsibility to maintain the rental home and the premises clean and orderly so as not to attract these types of pests. The cost to remediate any type of infestation will be charged to you if it is found that you are responsible. If the owner of the unit decides to sell the property, the lease clearly states that you will cooperate in allowing showings. Advance notice will be provided for any real estate showings. Similarly, as you are approaching the end of your lease agreement, we will market the property for rent. And we expect this same type of cooperation in allowing potential tenants to come through the property and view it for themselves. Upon vacating, the carpets need to be professionally steam cleaned at your expense. If you are renting a single-family home, unless otherwise specified, you have the responsibility to maintain the yard. This would include, but is not limited to, mowing, edging, trimming trees and bushes where you can do so safely, and weeding the flower beds. Home Basics Real Estate will send someone out to turn the sprinklers on in the spring and turn them off again in the fall. Any sprinkler issue should be reported to us through our maintenance request system, and we will send a qualified contractor out there to adjust or fix the sprinkler system as needed. In addition to this lease agreement, you are receiving copies of the house rules and maintenance rules. Most of these items are common sense, but they further clarify your responsibility as a tenant under the lease. Please take some time to familiarize yourself with the rules contained in these two documents. I know this lease agreement sounds intimidating and contains a lot of rules. The keys to remember, though, are to first, pay your rent on time every month. Secondly, maintain the rental unit and the premises in a clean and orderly fashion. And third, please remain in the rental unit through the duration of your lease. If you will do these three simple things, you'll have a great experience. And most of what is written in the lease, and a lot of what we've talked about today, will not apply to your situation. Again, thank you for your decision to lease one of our properties. We consider our tenants to be very important customers and look forward to meeting your needs in the months and years of your tenancy.